Hmm.
All right, let's see. We're probably already on here. Let's see. Should be it. Oh, look at that. All right. Let's record this to the cloud. All right. It's Wednesday. So it must be Whiskey Wednesday. All right, here we are. Mad people. All right. So this is actually pretty fun for me because I get to welcome back an old friend. Um, she started with us, and hopefully her career goes further than this. But they took her away, and then they brought her back. Laura Kanzler is back again. What's your title now?
Regional sales manager.
Regional sales
Yes.
manager. She's back. I don't know if it's a step up or a step down. We don't know, but let's find out. Uh, her first Whiskey Wednesday doing it in our new format.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I mean, you guys have just grown since I last was here. I think I just ran
My
around.
weight down a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
other
well,
than that,
you look great. You look
thank
great.
you.
Everyone looks great. Everyone looks
They
great.
don't. They all
Nobody's
look
aged
good.
at all.
No, not at
No.
all. No, it's amazing, isn't it? All right. So Hotaling and Company is basically a company that owns a lot of different brands, and they're importers, and they own some and they import some, and
We are a distiller and an importer.
an importer,
Yes.
everything under the sun, which makes them experts in spirits in general.
Spirits, yes.
But tonight you're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go through some products and we're going to have some fun tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand it over to you and let you take us where you will.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, some of you I remember, some of you may remember me, and some of you have never seen me before because I've been gone for nearly 5 years. I've been with Hotaling Co for almost 7 years, and I cut my teeth here at Julio's.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of different things and hanging out with you all, and along the way meeting great people. So it's really nice to be back. I was working in Northern California, where our headquarters are in San Francisco, and spending a lot of time at our distillery, which was, really amazing to be able to have some hands-on time. I think one of our distillers came to visit.
Oh yeah.
Last year, right?
Yep.
Kevin Oslin.
Yep.
So yeah,
Kevin
we'll
Oslin was the award winner
mm-hmm.
for the Lock and Key Award this year.
Right.
So yes,
yeah.
you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, so we have a long history of relationship
Yeah,
with the Julia's crowd. And yeah, so step up, step down. I don't think it really matters. I'm happy to be here. How about that?
You have no choice.
And to drink.
You have no choice.
I have no choice but to drink whiskey with everyone. Here we are. Step up, right?
Always
Absolutely.
It's when you're drinking whiskey, it's always a step up, right?
Yeah, I think
there's never a bad day for good whiskey. Is the club motto, by the way, in case anybody has forgotten. So, here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. So we wanted to do something fun. It's summertime, right? And you all drink whiskey, and sometimes people give us a bad rap for drinking whiskey in the summer. And I thought, I know, correct. You can drink whatever you want, whenever you want, with care.
Drink responsibly. You can drink whatever you want, but do it always responsibly.
Absolutely. That's
the life you save may be mine.
Correct. So, but with that, I thought as I was talking with you, Ryan, and your crew, and with John and Gio, let's have a little fun. A lot of our whiskeys are more than wonderful enough to just be had on their own. And many of you have probably had them on their own with maybe a little ice or a little bit of water to taste. But they also play really well in cocktails. And I thought, summertime cocktails, let's have a little fun.
Okay.
So I came up with just a smattering because we have so many great products, but a couple of great examples of what we do at Hotaling. So we import Nikka, which is the Japanese whiskey.
Yep.
Hirsch Horizon, which we own, and as you know, Kevin, our distiller, is really just championing this amazing bourbon. And then we have Old Pulteney, which is one of our many beautiful single malts from the Highlands. So
if you've ever been to Old Pulteney, we'll get there when we get there. In this thing, it's quite a trip, and it's quite an interesting experience to get up to Old Pulteney.
It really is. It's a journey, and we'll talk a little bit about that when we get there. What we have here are a little bit of a taste of each one. that we can taste through. And then we have a complimentary cocktail with a recipe.
Okay.
And we have, I think the first cocktail's already been served, and you're welcome
Yes.
to go between the two. I think
She
it's
said it, so you don't drink it all and then go, I need some more. Right? All right. So the one in slot number one is
Slot
the
number
Nikka
one,
Day.
Nikka
Nikka
Days. Yeah.
So
So
try
it's
that
good
on its
stuff.
own first.
Mhm. And have you all tasted whiskey before? Yeah. Just checking, making sure.
Seeing if she knows where she is. So anyways,
Making sure.
yeah, absolutely.
So you all know how to that
Yes,
well,
people
that's
out
true.
there in
That's true. All right.
Facebook
People
land
out
might
there,
have.
you may have not. So I always recommend doing a smaller sniff, further as you bring it to your nose, and don't dig your nose right in, right? Because you're going to get a shock of all that ethanol that might be coming off of the liquid. So yeah, small sniffs, and you're going to notice some nice things on that nose, right? Like,
Also, open your mouth when you
yeah,
breathe in.
absolutely.
Do not keep your mouth
Mhm.
shut. Open your mouth when you
Mhm.
breathe in. So yeah,
Mhm.
that'll stretch the all over factories and get
Yes,
that going, so you won't get
absolutely.
overwhelmed with alcohol. That's a
Correct.
part of that same thing.
Love it.
And never trust your first sip.
Mm-mm.
That's your other thing. Always sip number two. So sip it, get it your mouth accustomed to it,
Right.
and then take your next sip. And that's sort of what the whiskey really tastes like.
Absolutely. Yeah, because your palate needs to adjust a little bit. So everyone's palate adjusted.
I mean, Nikka Days is a nice summer whiskey, anyways.
It absolutely is.
I mean,
And
this is something you could drink you could drink just as it is with a
exactly.
rock.
Exactly.
That's it.
And it was an idea. So there's a team of 7 on Nikka's master blending team, 7 master blenders who work on innovations. So who has seen the coffee gin and the coffee vodka? Seen those, the Nikka coffee gin, coffee vodka? Those are innovations that were thought up by that master blending team. And their next innovation after the gin and the vodka was to think about an aperitif style whiskey, something that might be a little bit brighter, a little bit more like the start of your whiskey drinking experience, or perhaps
We should
you're
also
having
say,
a
by the
light
way,
day.
just for people out there that don't know,
Mhm.
we say coffee vodka and coffee gin.
Yes, yeah,
It's a coffee still.
yes,
It has nothing to do with the coffee to drink in the morning. It's named
yeah.
after
See?
Aeneas Coffee.
Yeah.
The still is named after them, and that's where we're talking about.
Absolutely. Coffey. And that
I
is
actually have, if anybody wants to look up later, I have a diagram of how the Nikka still works that's on the back of a barbell. I had one of the techs actually explain it to me in Japanese. I had a translator. Andy drew me a picture. I don't remember any of it. I was drunk off my ass. So, but safely. But I do have it here, and I refer to it occasionally and try to remember that night. So if anyone wants to see that, they can see that. But that's how the coffee still works.
exactly.
And it's as we talked about before, it's sort of a precursor to the continuous still.
Yes, exactly. And they're very proud of it, which is why you will see it on some of the whiskeys that Nikka produces. So the blending team got together and said, we want to make something interesting. There are two key distilleries that I like to mention when I think about Nikka. It is Yoichi, which is in the Hokkaido, which is the northern prefecture. And then you've got Miyagikyo, which was the second distillery, started in 1969, which is in Sendai, which is more of like a middle prefecture area. And Miyagikyo was Masataka Takatsuru's way
Say
of
that 10
showing
times. Masataka Takasoro.
after a few drams.
Yeah, I know.
So that was Masataka's vision for moving Japanese whiskey forward. It's where they wanted to do innovation. And so when you're lucky enough to go to Miyagikyo, which I hope you all are, you're going to see these huge buildings that is where the coffee still lives. And then these amazing rack houses, which has a lot of different types of whiskeys. And they're pulling whiskeys from different areas as well, like from Yoichi, for example. What is in the bottle here at Days was many months and years of blending and deciding what they thought would be this style of whiskey that they wanted to introduce. So you've got whiskeys from Miyagikyo that are not peated. So you've got non-peated malt in there, and you also have some coffee grain, which is also made at Miyagikyo. And they wanted it yellow because they wanted you all to know, like, this is bright, this is fun.
Right.
It's perfect for summer too, I think.
And the name like Days. I mean,
Like Days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take it out on the golf course. Have a highball,
there
which
you
is
go.
what we have.
Whoa, wait a minute. We have one of
Hey, we
those.
have a highball.
That's what's in your
Yes.
cups. Everybody have one?
Yes.
Don't show me an empty cup and say you don't have one. Do you have one? All right, great. Yeah, I'll have one. All right,
Good.
so try that. So
Yeah, give it a
has anybody
taste.
who's had basically a Japanese highball? Anybody had one? Good.
Great. Great.
Starts off good because this is really this is what Nikka looks at as the sort of the quintessential highball is
Yeah.
using. This is what this was
Yeah,
built for,
absolutely.
right?
Yep. Again, to kick off your cocktail experience.
And it's
Refresh
the
yourself.
same thing. It's
Mhm.
citrusy, it's bright, it's ready. You could have food with this.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the general idea,
Exactly.
right?
And I think too, with this, you can play around when you're making it at home. I love home bartending, making having a picnic, having people over, barbecuing, etc. It's really easy to make this one at home. You can use citrus of choice and play around and see what your palate likes, but I think lemon with this one is just really nice.
Mhm. Well, it stays with the yellow theme.
It does, doesn't it? Ha! Subliminal messaging. Keep it yellow.
But it is, and the highball can also what did you use in this one, Johnny? What was the
We
Fever
use
Tree
Fever
what?
Tree Club soda.
Club soda?
Yeah.
Fever Tree Club
Yeah.
soda.
And I'd say if you can buy smaller bottles, unless you're going to pour your club soda right away, because you want that fine, fresh bubble
Right.
to really play with the whiskey. And that's what gives you that nice balance on your palate when you're drinking it.
That is why I like the Fever Tree in the can
Yeah.
or the small glass bottles.
Sure.
Unless I'm having a bunch of people
Yep.
over, I don't even like opening up like the
Yeah.
collar bottle
Yeah.
because it will go flat. It's nice
Yeah.
to like one drink, one.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What's that? So of club soda matches up with one bottle of whiskey. Yeah, that would probably about do it, sir.
Yeah. Sure. Make a big gulp, but just, be
You
responsible about
you
it.
use a straw, but that's really good. But you can taste
Mhm.
it's nice and
Yeah.
refreshing. When we were in that 95-degree heat,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
one of those type of things that goes really, really well.
It really does. Yeah. So
And again, 2 ingredients. If you want to put the lemon in there, there's 3.
three. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, and that's where most of these cocktails that you're going to try, they're pretty simple. They're things that you can make at home. You don't even need a full cocktail kit. You could use a mason jar. You don't need a full shaker, and you can, I'm a fan of doing that. Let's just keep it easy. You're already going to the store, you're buying stuff. You don't need to stress yourself out with like a 5-part cocktail. It's where you go to a great bar for it.
I have this thing where I call it mix it in a minute. If I
Mm,
cannot mix it in a minute, I don't want anything to do with it.
I'm
And
a fan.
if it has 2 ingredients, the better.
Hmm.
But I want to be able to put something together. But now, if I need a cocktail, I have Johnny on the spot over here. He
Yeah.
makes all my difficult cocktails.
Uh-huh.
But if it's just me, I'm lazy. I really am. I want a cocktail and I want it to taste good, but it has to be quick. And basically to do that, there's only like maybe 2 or 3 ingredients. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of these are pretty low ingredient.
Right.
Yeah. So
But it also shows you don't have to, you can get complexity and flavor without making it too complicated.
exactly. I'm
Right.
all for really specialized syrups, and it's fun to do that. Certainly, if you want to go for it, go for it. But you don't always have to. You want the whiskey to show through too.
That's when I go to I go to a bar and I go
Mhm.
to a mixologist and
Mhm.
or I call
Mhm.
John
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
and I
Yeah.
say, "Hey, can you make this? Because I
Mhm.
want some to do something." And John goes, "Sure." Do you have a beef fizz is
Yeah,
one we're
beef.
working on. Yeah, we're working on some. So at one point in time, it's just so weird, but soup cocktails were the thing, and we're working on a couple of them right now. But this is sort of like you ever seen Dean Martin's recipe for hamburger, a hamburger?
No, I
And
haven't.
he's got this very long, intricate recipe to
Okay.
make like the greatest hamburger ever, right? And he's got
Okay.
this big long list, and it's supposedly makes a great hamburger. Have you ever seen Frank Sinatra's list for the greatest hamburger? He says, "Call Dean." And Dean will come down and make him and tell him to make you a hamburger. And Dean
Exactly.
makes the hamburger. So that's sort of like that. It's like, John, make me the hamburger. I can't, it's too many ingredients you got in this thing. So that's how we sort of break it up.
It's always good to have a home mixologist to
That's
get
right.
to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we call him John.
Family
Spot.
get-togethers.
That's
It's
right.
me and my brother-in-law Bill. My sister's husband makes the best homemade Manhattan out there. He
Hey.
really does. So shout out to Bill.
Yeah,
I'll
there
have
you
to let
go.
him know I called him out.
There you go.
If you're ever in
Well, he
Houston,
was-
look him
we
up.
can do- Yeah, absolutely.
All
All right.
right,
So
so
what's
it's
the next?
Nikka.
What's the next? That's
Right.
Nikka.
Yeah. So we're gonna bounce over to Hirsch now, and
But you guys all have, just so
yeah,
you know,
and follow along.
you have a recipe for all the stuff. So
Yeah.
Hirsch
Yeah.
is the next one, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do Hirsch Horizon.
Hirsch Horizon, right? Which is the first Hirsch that we came out with a few years ago.
Right. This is the one with the blue
The
label.
blue label.
Yeah.
And we're really proud of it. We're really proud of Hirsch. You know, when I think about our bourbon, I think about it as like a nod to American whiskey.
Mhm.
So Hotaling has a great tradition of making whiskey. We made rye, Old Pulteney, since 1992. And so, you know, big fan of American distilling and the history that it brings. And so when we were reviving Hirsch and thinking about the bourbon, and Kevin was taking this project on and working with folks in Indiana, Tennessee, and Kentucky, it really became like a labor of love. So this is for us, like this is a flagship American bourbon. On the back of every bottle, you'll see the mash bill, which there was a period of time where you might not have known what you were getting in a bottle. You would have gone on faith. And we want to take that away from the idea of what am I drinking? We
Well,
want
it's
you
all
to
about
try it.
transparency,
Yeah,
right? Right.
exactly. Just
So
so you
the
have.
just so you guys know,
Mhm.
the Hirsch straight bourbon whiskey is made of two mash bills. The ratio is 95% of one and 5% of the other. The 95 is a 4-year, 9-month old whiskey at 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley, and a 5% of a 6-year, 2-month-old, which is 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. So same mash bills, but done at different places and different ages on
Yeah.
both of those.
Yep.
Right. You can only use the lowest one. So technically it's a 4-year, but they're being transparent and telling you what they're using to make this particular blend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep. And part of it is all about each batch that we produce is going to mirror the previous batch. It's about a house style. Like what is Hirsch Horizon? You're going to get the same experience, whether it's one or two.
92 proof, by the way, which usually means no chill filtering, which I believe that is, right?
No
No chill filtering.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's taste it. I don't know. I was so excited. I started talking. Has anyone tasted the Hirsch Horizon?
Oh, they've drunk everything
Oh,
on there.
good.
They've drunk everything on their tray. If you thought you were going to stop them and actually do this in an orderly
I
fashion,
don't know. I don't know. I
you're
haven't been here in a minute.
yeah,
Yeah.
that hasn't changed much.
Correct. I
So
almost
that is the
forgot.
Hirsch. I love
It's just that
the
corn.
Horizon's just
Yeah.
first of all, it doesn't taste grainy. Even though it has some younger whiskeys in it, it's a solid whiskey. This is under $40 every day.
Yes.
Under $40. It's a nice go-to whiskey. And the next thing you're gonna see is like you can drink this straight. There's no problem with it. Absolutely. You've just had it. But you've come up with a drink for us to have tonight. And so what is that?
So this is
There's a plant growing out of my drink, but that's right. Yes.
Yeah, and some of you, so just so you know, your mint is fresh. It's been hanging out in the drink, so some of it's gotten a little bit funny, but that's only because it's been sitting there for
Funny,
an
huh?
hour.
Funny, huh?
Yeah, funny, haha. But the mint is fresh, I promise. So this is a riff on a
Has it
smash.
been lightly smacked and thrown in
It
there?
has been slapped, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about this, but when you are garnishing a drink with mint, you got to slap it. Does anyone know why you have to slap your mint?
Because it's been bad.
I mean, you've got good mint and bad mint, but they all need a little slap, actually.
All right.
Yeah, so it actually helps to release some of those natural oils that are in that. Yeah. The same thing as if you've ordered a drink and you've maybe gotten like a lemon peel or an orange peel and they squeeze it over. It's releasing those essential oils out of it.
right.
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
Oh, this is delicious.
Isn't that fun? So this one I love.
Wow.
I like using leftover jam in this one. And don't worry, I bought fresh jam for all of you. But when I'm home and I'm running through the last of my jam jar, I actually like to save that last tablespoon and use it to make a cocktail. And you just shake it up right in the jar, which is so nice
She's
to
cleaning
do.
her jars with her drinks.
I
So
mean,
then
it's
afterwards,
multi-purpose.
it's multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose. Yeah. I see a hand up. Did I see a hand up?
Yeah. Apricot jam or anything like that.
That you like. I had
Violet jam.
Ooh, that would be really fun.
Not to Carol over there.
Yeah. Love that idea. Yeah. So any jam that you tend to like.
She took it back. She
Go
didn't
for
leave
it,
it with
yeah?
me. She took her violet jam back
Oh
with her.
man, I want some of that.
It was really good.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, sir. I got it. But this is actually really good. So all this is the Hirsch Horizon,
Yep.
blackberry jam, lemon juice,
Yep.
mint garnish, and
Yep.
crushed ice.
Yeah, it's
That's it.
easy. Yeah. Now, if you have a sweeter tooth, you're welcome to add a little simple syrup to it. You know, my sister likes hers a little sweet, so some people do that.
Yeah.
Or you add a little more jam if you like it a little bit fruitier. I liked my whiskey to show through, so this recipe doesn't have simple, and it only has one
Well,
tablespoon of
The,
jam.
this is, I mean, if we
Yeah.
if we get sort of like into like, you know, like flavored whiskeys and stuff like that, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with sweeter style drinks.
Sure.
As long as you can still taste the whiskey through it. If it's
Mm.
totally masking,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to remember, you know, there was a time where cocktails were there to mask
Yeah.
the flavors of
Right. Well, the product was
inferior
intended.
product,
Yeah.
inferior product. But we're past that now,
Absolutely.
and we want to be able to taste like some of these really good products. So
Yeah.
you don't want to, you're not looking to cover it up. You're looking to enhance it.
Correct. And
This
that's
is really good.
exactly
I like
it.
this one.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. Well, it's, you know, it's a riff on a classic. So a smash is usually half a lemon and you pummel it.
No,
And
Matt,
then-
that's not what your nickname is. Smashed. So no.
I also say if you want to make this one at home, it's really nice because you can use a hammer and crush your ice, and it is a nice stress reliever while you're
Yes.
making your
Well, if
cocktail.
so I was trying to explain to somebody like 3 weeks ago what a Lewis bag was.
Oh yeah.
So a Lewis bag is like a canvas bag.
Yeah.
And you'd put ice in
You
it,
put
and
your
then you'd
ice in
have
it.
a mallet, and you would smack the bag. There's a lot of hitting involved tonight. I don't know why. Anyways, you smack the bag and crush the bag, and then you pour it out.
Exactly.
And what's good about a canvas bag is the ice doesn't stick.
It doesn't stick.
It doesn't stick to,
Yeah.
the bag, and it comes out. So
Yes.
that's a Lewis bag that
That's
you
a
can,
Lewis bag.
and that's a
Correct.
good way to relieve tension.
Absolutely. So you get
Yeah.
your little, you know, get your energy out or your frustrations
It's
out
like
and
these
make a
people
cocktail.
are over and they want me to make drinks. I have to make drinks. What's that? Got any pat?
Yeah,
Got any
exactly.
pat?
Exactly. Bad
But
day
it's
at
good.
work, go crush
What do you guys
some
think?
ice.
What do you guys think of the cocktail so far? Yeah?
Yeah, nice.
Did you like the what's it? I just want to make sure I got it. The blackberry smash. Yeah,
Nice.
good.
Great. Yeah.
Don't
try-
drink too
try-
many, or you will be smashed too. But yes, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Drink.
Good, very nice. I like it.
Oh, good. I'm really glad to hear that. And I think too, it just, you know, what bourbon tastes great with citrus again. And I think it goes back to
Vanilla and citrus go together.
exactly,
So
right?
caramel and citrus go together.
Exactly. And also too, you think about like, you know, summertime berries are growing. So that's where we went with the berry, right?
Yeah.
You got your fruits growing and there's a lot of blackberry bushes down in those areas like Indiana, Kentucky, where they're
Absolutely.
making
I like it.
bourbon. Yeah, great.
I like it. Now, the next whiskey we're gonna do
Yes.
is the Bivouac.
Bivouac.
Now, the Bivouac is this is one of the ones that John and I recommend to a lot of people because one, it's delicious, and two, it's sitting on the shelf. You don't have to, shelf gem. You don't have to, you really don't have to look far for this. I think it's a really good quality bourbon in its own right, and I'll give you the mash bill mix makeup tier too. So again, two different mash bills that are making this up. 90% of a 4-year 1 month, 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley, and 10% of a 5-year 4 month, which is 72 corn, 13 rye, and 15% malted barley. So a little bit higher on the malted barley.
Yeah.
Which I love the fact that a lot of bourbon producers and stuff are using a little bit more malted barley in the
Yes.
mash bill.
Yeah.
I think it lends a creaminess to the whiskey.
That's a great way to describe
yeah.
it. Yeah, I would agree. And I think, you know, that was the
Oh, and this one here is 100 proof.
100 proof. Yeah. And that was part of the style of bivouac. So bivouac is actually within Hotaling, we all have opinions. Imagine that a bunch of people who work in spirits have opinions. And why did we name it bivouac? Does anyone know what a bivouac is?
I've used it. Bivouac.
You've
It's a
used
small.
bivouac?
It's a small tent.
Exactly. It's
One
a-
person small tent.
Yeah, it's a shelter in place. If you're military, which I grew up military, my father's a retired veteran, so I always like to give him a shout out as well.
He probably doesn't like that. He's like, why did you name it that? That's a terrible name.
Well, he thought it was funny. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Christmas time, he got a bottle of bivouac.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a military shelter as well. So if you have anyone in the military or anyone who likes to be really outdoorsy, this is a great gift for them as well because the name really does appeal.
Well, the whole lineup is basically about exploration.
It's about
Right?
exploration, right?
Doing it. So like
Yeah.
if you hike and stuff like that and you've done like go out solo in a lot of places, you'll bring a very small tent with you.
Yes. Yes.
And that's where you're going to shelter for the night. So
Yeah.
it's if you bring the
Absolutely.
bigger tent, you have to
can't.
carry it.
Exactly. You
So I my tent that I used to carry was about this big.
Yeah.
Packed
Yeah,
up.
that's backpacking.
And that's
Exactly.
backpacking. So
Exactly. Yeah.
that's the same thing.
And
So,
Hirsch is like the one of the things that we love about this brand is it is exploration. So you're trying different American whiskeys,
Yep.
right? Different American bourbons, different ages, different mash bills, different expressions. This one has more barley profile. And you're also people who like to go out and do stuff, right? We're not always just sitting on our couches, believe it or not, drinking. We're
all right.
doing
So what do you
things.
guys think of this bourbon? I did. I already mentioned it. I did.
Yeah,
I did.
that's right.
The
That's right.
the distiller blender for this did win. Kevin Estlin did win the Lock and Key award this past year. He's a Keyhold award winner.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. What you guys do you
Amazing.
guys like
Such a
this?
great guy.
You can take this.
You could
Actually, I have my
That's
10
what
I
you
think
want,
is weighs less than this bottle does. But that's beside the point.
get you a lightweight flask.
Yeah. But I just think that what's really weird. John and I were talking about this, and when this first came out, it got, and I don't know what was going on. It got like really like mixed reviews, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Do you have a different bottle than I do?" Because mine was, and John and I had this argument. It's like
Yeah.
it is really, I think it's really really good, and I think it's every bottle I've had has been consistent.
Yes.
And but I was like, I was wondering if people got it or they had a different bottle or something. But it was really weird because this is one of our most recommended whiskeys in the aisle for somebody looking for something
Yeah.
again under $50.
Right.
Right. I think it's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah, it
exactly. We got
delivers.
people, but the thing is you can just walk up to the shelf and grab it. It's there.
Yeah.
It's not an allocated thing. It's not,
Nope.
it's not, the supply is good. It's
Kevin
been
goes- yeah,
consistent.
Kevin.
And the batches have been consistent
Exactly. And Kevin is very hands-on. It's a hand-on.
too. Lisa, what's that? The ABV on this one is 100. It's 100 proof. 50%
50. Yep.
ABV is 50. It's not maybe that's it. It's not exactly a mainstream flavor component, but I think it goes together really, really well. Yeah, well, some people don't like different. I mean, that is a point. The good part about it is we usually have a bottle open here at Julio's. So like, a lot of times when people come in, they can try it before they buy it. So they already know the answer before they leave.
No, that's
they like it or
great.
not, so.
I think that's one of the best things about coming here. that you
Liquid
can try
liquid
things
to
that
lips.
work things. Yeah, you gotta try
Liquid
it.
to lips is the way
Way
you
to go.
sell whiskey because everybody's flavor profile that they like is a little different.
Yeah, exactly.
So neither. So the next drink, I should get to the next drink.
Yeah.
Is is it Adult Swim?
Yeah, I named it myself. I was
There you
pretty
go.
proud of that one.
Were you?
Yeah. Thank you. You guys like that? I'm gonna trademark
All right.
that.
So the Bivouac, Luxardo, Amaro,
Yeah.
Habano,
Uh-huh.
Cola, Luxardo Cherry and Lime, Luxardo Cherry and a lime garnish, and crust ice is preferred on this one. The cola that we're using tonight is the distiller's cola from Fever Tree.
Yes.
If you've not used it, what we like about it, we've been using in a lot of our drinks, is that it's a sugarcane cola.
Yeah.
It's done really, really well. It's neither Coke nor Pepsi.
Right. So we don't have to have that argument right now.
Now.
Anyway.
It's by the way, if you get into that argument, it's always RC.
Oh, okay. All right.
Royal Crown. But
Yeah.
the distiller's cola is a very good,
Yeah,
very good
and
one.
I think it plays really well with the bivouac. With the bivouac being a slightly higher proof, I lowered the amount and added in
Wow, really good.
added in a little bit of Amaro. So Amaro plays so nicely with whiskey. And if you haven't tried Luxardo Amaro or Luxardo Fernet, give it a try. You've got these nice dark, kind of like root, earthy tones that come from
Mhm.
all of the herbs and the really the roots that are in an Amaro. And it plays so nicely with this cola. And that's why I called it Adult Swim. So it's
Okay.
not just your regular whiskey and cola. It's got a
The
little
other one
something
too
extra.
for cola is lime and cola.
Yep. Yep.
That's a really great flavor combo
Yeah.
on its own.
Exactly.
So I mean, even if you got the cola, try squeezing some lime in there.
Yeah.
Everybody always goes for the lemon, but lime and cola goes better. I
Yeah.
think.
I think so too. And again, thinking summertime drinks, you want to have a little citrus in there just to
Mhm.
bump it up, cool
That's
yourself
really
off by
good.
the pool.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm glad. And
Like that.
again, pretty easy to make. You don't have to do a lot.
What do you guys think of this one?
It's
And
fun,
everybody
right?
always asks me, what should they do with the Maros? Well, this is one
This
answer.
is one answer. Yeah.
There's many answers.
Drink it. You can
There's
drink
many
it.
answers, but this is one.
This is one more reason to go pick up a bottle.
What's that? Drink it so you can
Yeah.
drink them straight. I do that
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Moxie.
That's all right.
This is actually really good. I do like this one a lot.
Great.
This is sort of more my cup of tea.
Okay.
I like this. I like this flavor combination.
Mhm.
I like the depth of flavor in
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and it's not overwhelmingly sweet.
Yeah. I tend
The
not to go
Amaro covers
sweet
that.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amaro is definitely playing into that,
Mhm.
and the distiller's cola is not overly sweet either.
Which is also why I chose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
But again, if you have people in your lives that are sweet tooths, go for it.
Yeah.
You can always add more.
That's really good. I like this one.
Great. Awesome. All right.
You're batting 1,000 tonight, which is awesome.
Oh, I'm coming back strong,
Come
huh?
back strong.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
I mean, I have great products to work with. It's not
That's the
hard.
easy part.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. Hey guys, Johnny, you want to pour that other one too? We got it ready? Okay, good. All right. All right. Thank you.
Oh.
We got so the last one is Old Pulteney.
Yeah.
Now Old Pulteney is in Wick,
Yes.
Scotland.
Yeah.
And for a while it was the upmost northern distillery in Scotland.
Yes.
I believe Rock Rose is now the most northern on the mainland.
Yep.
But it is nestled in Wick. And you couldn't be more on the North Sea.
You couldn't
It's
be.
it's just it's
incredible.
It's everything when you think of Scotland, this is exact rainy, dark, and foreboding in the middle of the city, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
really is.
and it's really good. Old Pulteney is actually one of my favorite distilleries. Just on the fact of how remote it is.
Mhm.
And then you get there and you get to try all these great whiskeys
Yeah.
in this distillery that's sort of like nestled in the town.
Right. And when they started Old Pulteney in 1826, they actually couldn't get there by road. So the barley was brought in by boat and the whiskey went out by boat. Other weird fun fact, this town, Wick, was at one point in time the herring capital of Europe. So you had a lot of people working very hard on the cold North Sea,
Right.
and they needed to warm up.
Right.
And
they didn't store the whiskey in herring barrels.
No, they didn't.
Just good.
They didn't.
Just good.
You might see notes there where we say there's some salinity to it, but that's from the air. Nothing else. Nothing else.
There is this we call that maritime quality.
Maritime, exactly.
Maritime
Yeah.
quality, which you sort of there's no salt in whiskey,
No,
but there is definitely a component that
Mhm.
mimics that flavor sensation
it does.
for most people.
Yeah. And I think you'll all see with your handouts, there's a picture of a bottle of Old Pulteney next to oysters. You are welcome. I did not bring you warm oysters from my car to have with Old Pulteney tonight. Maybe
Warm oysters are always the best.
I thought a cocktail would be better, which we'll talk about in a minute. But
Okay.
I highly recommend if you like to shuck oysters at home, or you're out to dinner and you see Old Pulteney, have it with some oysters because the profiles together are so beautiful. You've got a whiskey that's literally resting right next to the ocean with something that grows in the ocean. It's great.
Yeah, actually, also you add a couple of drops of the whiskey to the oyster.
Yeah.
It's really good too.
Oh, it's so pretty.
So, favorite, John.
Oh, I mean,
favorite.
it's It's beautiful. Yeah.
This is a what I like about Old Pulteney. By the way, the bottle sort of
Mhm.
mimics the still a little bit.
The wash still.
The wash still.
Yeah. So there's a funny story about Old Pulteney and their wash still. A lot of hardworking, just regular people wanted to have this distillery in their town of Wick, and they were fitting their stills into buildings that were pre-existing. And somebody measured incorrectly, and so they had this beautiful
Yes.
still come in, and it didn't fit. The top, the swan neck, did not fit. But because they're Scotsmen
Yep.
and they're problem solvers,
Yep.
they literally chopped the neck off. So this bottle looks like the wash still. And what it does though is create a beautiful flavor profile that you can only get at Old Pulteney. I mean, that's really what it is. It's really special. I hope you all get to go there and check it out. But in the meantime, the
What do you guys think
12-year-old,
of the old? What do you think of the 12-year-old Old Pulteney?
right? Yeah.
What's that? The first one? Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's one of those first ones you tried. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right.
it
So
is.
the drink that you
The
came
drink,
up with
yeah.
is called the Shoreman.
Yeah. I was, trying to play off of all of those folks who work near the sea.
Mhm.
And this is actually a riff on a Rob Roy. Anyone know what a Rob Roy is? Have it before? Yeah, Manhattan variation. You make it with single malts or scotch versus with a bourbon or a rye.
Yeah.
And how about a perfect Manhattan? Anyone have that? This is a perfect Rob Roy, essentially.
Okay.
And so what I did, and I think it's really because I wanted to play up summertime flavors, right? Because it is the end of July, we're looking at August, and we're drinking whiskey. I didn't want it to be just sweet red vermouth, which is beautiful in its own right. I wanted to throw in a little bit more of a kind of a backbone. So we went with a little bit of a white vermouth.
Mhm.
That there are two types of white vermouth. You've got dry and you've got Bianco. Bianco tends to have a little bit more residual sugar. And you should have seen me the other night. I was playing around because I couldn't decide, do I want the dry vermouth? Do I want the Bianco vermouth? Highly recommend you pick up some bottles of vermouth and decide yourselves how you like to taste your cocktails. I went with the Bianco, but go ahead and try the dry as well. And I think you carry the Mazzini vermouths. I used Mazzini, which is
I
made
think we
by
do.
Sylvia
Yeah.
Carta.
Yep.
Yeah, those are new to the US. We just started importing them. I highly recommend them.
I think we do. I'm
Okay.
almost positive.
I'm pretty sure
We
you
got a
do.
pretty good big
Yeah.
vermouth section,
Yeah.
so sometimes it's hard to keep track.
Pretty sure you do though.
Yeah. If not, we'll
Yeah.
be getting it in
Okay.
because
I love that.
Laura's not going to let me not get it in.
It's true. I want you all to have the good stuff.
So what do you guys think of the? What do you think of this drink?
It's fun, right?
Mm.
And now,
Yeah, it's definitely bright.
yeah,
It's bright, but a lot of flavor, a lot of depth of flavor too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And if you want it to be, again, you want a little bit more of your single malt to show through, you can always go with the drier vermouth too. But I thought it's the end, so we're gonna have a little bit, maybe wanting a little bit something sweeter, and so we went that way.
It's really good.
But Old Pulteney by itself is just great too. So you don't
Yeah.
have to.
Either one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's summertime. You're having oysters, so you can certainly do that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's the lineup we had for you tonight. If you notice though, you got an extra
Oh.
cup. Wait, there's more.
There's more.
I couldn't because we've been talking about the whole profile of the Hotaling,
Mm.
Hotaling and Company. I could not leave out Old Patero. Now, because this is really where it started.
It is.
Old Patero is from San Francisco. It is owned by the Hotaling and Company. It is it's a straight rye whiskey. This particular so it's also most people don't know this is that it's made from malted rye.
Mhm.
So it is a little bit different. The one that you're trying tonight is called Old Patero 8-year ATE, and we use the thing. It is an 8-year-old single barrel reserve straight rye, non-chill filtered. And this one, like I said, is aged 8 years. And this is at 130.86 proof. And you'll never guess that when you try this. So cheers. Have this the old Pulteney 8. Now you got to remember, this is really where a lot of the craft distilling started with some very small players across the board. This happened to be
Yeah.
Fitz Maytag doing this one,
Exactly.
but he really wanted to have something like this and sort of revive the distilling here in the United States.
Absolutely.
And doing something like this. I mean, the color on this is just amazing. At 8 years old, these are all done still distilled in San Francisco and then aged in Sonoma, I believe.
Yes, now aged in Sonoma.
Sonoma.
Mhm.
And this is our single barrel of 8-year-old. Want to share that with you tonight. If you've never had a lot of people have had rye, but a lot of people have not had malted rye. And the weird part is all of a sudden, everybody is doing or trying to do a malted rye.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because it's delicious. So
Mhm.
it's almost got like that patent malt sort of flavor to it. It's got that
Mhm.
chocolate,
Yeah.
that deep flavors. Yes, sir.
100%.
100% malted rye. It's
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
malted rye.
100%.
Yep, 100% malted rye. This is a single barrel at 130.86 proof. Yes. Yeah. Well, it's almost to me. It almost has like almost a mocha.
Mhm.
You get that chocolate and coffee sort of flavor to it. If you want to see what the real flavors are and something like that, like this, just take what you have in your hand,
Oh.
pop it up into your palm, so you have it in your palm, and then rub together and make sure you tell the officer that you were rubbing whiskey tonight. And then a little dab
yeah.
behind your ears.
So pretty.
But smell that afterwards. You get all of those really rich, dark flavors that are really popping this, right? I love this
We've
one.
been making this since 1992.
1992, and we're
Yeah.
really one of the first
Yeah.
micro
And we
distilleries.
still our head distiller, Bruce Joseph, he's still with us. And
Yeah.
he was part of the original experiment, which
Right.
was just a side project at Anne Christine Brewery.
Yep,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Anchorstein might be coming back now.
I've heard. Yeah.
So
It's exciting.
that's another exciting thing. I
Love
want to thank Laura for coming tonight.
Thank you.
We should also thank her for the great drink recipes and her assistant tonight, which was Johnny on the spot and Kavor
Thank you
putting these
both.
together for us. They wanted to make sure that they were fresh so that we didn't have them sitting there, that you guys get to try them as fresh like they should be
Yeah.
served. Want to thank everybody tonight. I got some things to go through with you. I want to say goodbye to everybody on Facebook. You really should have been here tonight. It was quite honest. It's quite great. If ever you want to see any of our backlog, go to It's the Liquor Talking wherever you get your podcasts and do that. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We do appreciate it. I'll get rid of Facebook.